Yes, good morning. Audible. Okay, good morning to everyone. So, today, okay, we will continue. Just wait because I need a confirmation either I'm audible clearly and you are getting a shared screen clearly or not. Just anyone, you have in a chat box, you send a message and I will get that and soon I will begin the session. Just anyone confirm it? Yes, confirm my audibility and visibility. Fast. Okay, I think it is clear. Now, today we are discussing about actually yesterday I given program. So program we will be divide program into three parts. So one is called input, second one is called logic, and third one is called output. So in this now we are discussing this first one. Okay, in this we are discussing first one. Okay, okay, now I got it's saying okay, audible and clear. Yes. So now okay, now in this we are discussing about the input. So in our input, okay, so if you are discussing about input, what input means, so what is the data we are providing to a computer to perform a task. So to perform task we are providing an information. Now to uh, take a input, first we have to allocate memory. Why we need to allocate memory? Because the computer is there, no, that computer will works on stored program concept. Stored program concept. This is invented by John Newman. Okay, this is a called stored program concept. So what before we will go to before discussing this input, we will see what is this stored program concept. Okay, what is this stored program concept? So what it means, for example, so example I will take example, one student or any of you, okay, one student, okay, name called Ranga. Okay, he is a student, he wants to write exam, he wants to write one exam. So what he will do, he will prepare. So what he will perform preparation for the exam. Preparation means what actually he is doing, he is reading only, he will read is enough? No, what are the things he is reading, that contents he is to store in his brain. Because when he is able to write, only when he stored the contents in his brain. Suppose he is reading but that are not storing in his brain, Next day he went to exam. If the contents are not stored, how he will write the exam? Nothing he will write, because nothing is there in his memory. Then he is unable to write nothing. So that's why, so if you people also, if you are preparing for the exam, while reading, your memory will be absorbed and you will store in your memory. Yes or not? You will actually, it is called storing only. Okay, either the concepts you are understanding or anything, indirectly what you are doing, the task you are storing in your memory. When you stored something, when immediately you want to perform or you want to answer the question, what you will do, your brain, and you will fetch that and you will write the answer. Okay, the same, just wait, before explaining, even human, any human you can take. Okay, any person you can take, he want to perform some task. Okay, he wants to perform some task. Before that, he is to prepare his mind. Okay, he is prepare his mind to perform the task, or he want to give some instruction to mind. Then only it is possible to perform. Otherwise, for example, if you want to, you are sitting and saying walk, but your brain give the instruction to walk, then you will stand up and you will walk. Otherwise, just you are sitting and saying, what is the use? No. So everything what will be happen, the brain is the main generator. So if you want to perform anything, first you want to say that, and you have to, your brain will prepare, then you are perform the task. Otherwise it is not possible. Even seeing and hearing also, when your brain is giving proper instruction, then only you are able to see and you are able to hear. And even if you are attending the class also, you prepared. Okay, so that's why, so what we need, so before doing any task, we need to store that information in our brain. The same how the human, our body will work, the same the computer will be prepared. So before performing the task, if you want to perform the task, so what you need to do, you need to give the input. So to give input, you have to allocate memory. Why we need to allocate memory? Because without, so we allocate the memory and we will store data. Without that, we are not able to perform any task. That is called stored program concept. Okay, store before using. Okay, you have to use anything, you have to store that in a computer first, then after that you need to perform any task. So to allocate these memory, because to allocate these memory, first we need to learn about data types. Okay, what we need to learn about data types. Why we need to learn about data types? Okay, so we will see why and what are the data types available and how to allocate. These three we will see. So first of all, we will see with example. First I said data types. Yes. Now see why we use data types: to allocate memory. Allocate memory. And already I said why we are allocating memory. Okay. To perform task, you need to allocate memory. So before starting this, okay, before starting this, I need a confirmation from your side everything is clear or not, because this is an sometimes any glitches will be happen, so we need to face any problem. So that's why students just confirm it everything is clear or not. Just confirm it. You send in a message. I already said you have in a chat box, If you send, I will get that. Yes, fastly you replay, then everything is clear. So you use any shortcuts, C for clear, A for audible. Previous classes, last class, last year we used that. Yes, students, fastly you can replay for me. I'm waiting for that, because in case if any glitches will be happened, we have to resolve as soon as possible. Yes, okay, I got clear. I think many of the three Panchakshari, Shrileka. Okay, very good. So now we will see why to allocate data types. First, I will explain this with an example. For example, so I have an a one dash. Okay, one dash. I said to fill in a number. Then we will easily fill one dash one number. Or it is better, I have in a box. I have in a box, and I want to write in a number in that. So okay, one number I written. It's easily fit. And I have in a same size of box, and I say to write two-digit number. Okay, I written. Yes, it is also easily fit. I have in a same size box, and I say to fill three-digit number, any number. Okay, this also okay, but okay, easily it will fit. And I have an again same size of box, and I say to write four-digit number. Then I am trying. But what happened here? See, one digit it is clear, two digits okay clear, three digits a bit but clear, but four digits it is a problem, little bit. We are confusing. So sometimes, for example, okay, four digit at least I try to fit. Okay, the same size of box. Now I want to fit five digits. Now 5, 6, 7, 8, and next digit what happened? I'm unable to fit. Okay, I easily given four digits, but next digit is vomited. It is called truncation. So what will be happen? Taken a single room. Okay, take a single room. We have an 10 seats in this. Okay, okay, we have 10 seats. We sent it, we allocated 10 members in this. Okay, 10 members allocated. After that 11th member came, so we provide a space, and 12 space they are standing. Okay, okay, there are 10 seats, but we allocated 20. At least there is a possible. So I am sending 30 members. There is a no space to move, and 10 members will be remains outside. What will be happen? 10 members will be remains outside. That is called truncation. 10. So what will be? This is deleted actually. So wastage of data. So now by seeing this example, we came to know according to size, we need to allocate data. We need to allocate memory. So what will be happen? According to the size of the data, we need to allocate the memory. Otherwise, the either memory will be wasted. So what will be happen here? If space is there, but you allocated one digit, then space will be so in case we are not allocating according to size, what will happen? In case not allocating memory according to need, so what will be happen? First, there is a chance of wastage of memory. There is a chance we can waste the memory. and second one, delete the data, delete the data, or it is also called, in case delete means corrupt, corrupt the data. So what will be happen, some portion of the data will be deleted, then that leads to a data corruption, means inaccurate data. So that's why, to avoid these problems, we have to allocate the memory according to the size. Now one more requirement we will see, and one time, so we have any different types of data. One more thing, we have different types of data. Either it should be in a numeric data, alphabets data, and we have in a symbols. Okay, and in a numeric, again there is a point numbers. Okay, point numbers means, you this is it is better. You have an a here for in the numeric, you have an a natural numbers, and you have an a floating decimal numbers, so these are also different, and alphabets, and you have an a symbols, so all these are different. So to differentiate, me specify one type for numeric, and you have to specify one type for alphabets, and you have to specify one type for the symbol. Along with that, again in a numbers we have different numbers. So for that, again we have to specify different data types. So that's why we need data types. Thought you understood why we need data types. First point, allocate a memory as per the need. So first, allocating the memory as per the need. Second one, define the type of the data. What is the type of the data we are using, that we have to define. So that's why we need a data types. Okay, next, what are the different data types are available? Different data types, so there are two data types. Data types will be divided into two parts. One is called primitive data types. Second one is called non-primitive data types. So in this we will see first what is primitive data type. At last we will move to actually non-primitive data types. You have very less discussion now, and later we will discuss about the non-primitive data types. Okay, first we will see about primitive data types. So now we are going to discuss about primitive data types. Primitive data types will be divided into, first one group is called integer. Okay, second group is called float, third group is called character, fourth group is called boolean. Okay, so now primitive data types is divided into four categories: integer, float, character, and boolean. Now first data type we are discussing, integer. So the number without point. Okay, number without point. Okay, to specify the number without point we use integer data type. Example, so 9, 10, 15, 20, 35, like this. If you want to specify the number without point, you have to use integer data type. Okay, next for the integer data type, just wait. Step by step we will discuss all the data types, and after that in detail we enter into the data type. Next, floating point, number with point. Okay, if you want to specify the number with point, you have to use float data type. Means 1.5, example 1.5, 2.5, 10.90, 99.99, all these. If you want to specify the numbers like this, you need to use the float data type. Next, you have character data types. Character data types will be is used to specify alphabets, symbols, and even numbers also. Numbers in single quote. Single quote means this is called single quotes. For example, you are giving specifying alphabets, then you have to specify A. Or if you are specifying a symbol, you have to specify like that. Or you are specifying a number, you have to specify in a single quote. Okay, later we will discuss how these will be stored. Next, boolean. Boolean is used to specify true or false. So suppose you want data type to specify the true or false, only the result will be in a true or false. For that we use boolean data type. Students, just I need a confirmation till this slide everything is clear or not. So in case if you are facing any problem or you are not understanding, just you send in a message for me. Fast reply. I need a fast reply. Everything is clear or not? Yes students, fastly you can reply. Further we move to in detail about each data type. Yes students, I need a fast reply because I'm waiting, because I want to see everything. Yes, I got a message, then further I will move. Everything clear? Yes. You have any doubts? Even you have any doubts, you can ask. Any doubts? Yes, okay. I think you don't have any doubts. Yes, next we are first. So we are divided 4 data types. First one we will see integer. So first data type is integer. Already I said integer to store number without point. Okay, there are the integer will be categorized into 4 types. Integer will be categorized into 4 types. First one is called long, second one is called second one is called int, third one is called short, fourth one is called byte. How we will divide these data types means according to their sizes. For example, long data type will store 8 bytes or allocate 8 bytes of memory. Okay, This is called size. These are very important points you can remember. Long will allocate size 8 bytes of memory. Integer allocate 4 bytes of memory. Okay, and short allocate 2 bytes of memory, and byte allocate only 8 bits are also or 1 byte. This is the memory allocated by these long, int, short and byte data types. And sometimes you need to convert in bits if you in case if you want to write in bits. So 8 into 8 is 64 bits. So 1 byte is equal to 64 bits. That also you can remember. Bit means, for example, we treat this is a memory 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is called 1 bit. Okay, like that 8 bits combined together we treat as a byte. Sometimes even more you need to know about the bits. How you will convert 4 bytes. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Then 4 into 8. 4 8s are 32 bits. How many bits integer will allocate? 32 bits. Like that you can remember. And as well as, so these data types we are using to store value in a memory, and we allocated memory, for example long we are allocated memory, and we not stored any value. Okay, we not stored any value, but also there is a value, it will be stored some value. So what will be happen if you are not storing value, on the time some value will be stored. That value is called default value. What that value is called? Default value. So if you are not storing any value, some value will be stored. That value is called default value. What is the default value of long? 0L. 0L is the default value of the long. And what is the default value of int? It is only 0. And short also 0 and byte also 0. Okay, remember these default values. There is a chance sometimes they will ask what is the default value stored in a long data type or integer data type, like that they will ask. Clear? So even you can convert, for example this is in bits also you can convert. This is 16 bits and this already written 8 bits. Okay, all these are very important in case of integer data type. So according to the number we will be used, and sometimes what will be happen, they will there is a one more term called range. What is the range of the numbers it will be stored? For example, we are saying 8 bytes, so how many? 64 bits. But what is the range of the numbers it will be stored? That is important. Now I'm going to explain how to calculate the range. Okay, I will give very simple technique that you can remember. Further that not required more details about that. In case they are asking the range, you can easily write by this method. What method I am teaching? In case they are asking range, so what will be happen? So for example one data type long, how many bytes the memory will be allocating? 8 bytes. 8 bytes means, or this is called 64 bits. So now you can see now we have in two positions. Okay, this is treated as 2 bits. We have 2 bits and we have 2 digits 0, 1. Always in case of computer will use binary language. Computer will use binary language. So binary language, why it is binary language? Don't think binary is some language. How means? One means it is actually one means on. Binary means how the machine will understand only electric signals. So in that electric signals, 1 means on, 0 means off. That's why we will say the computer will understand binary language. So we will represent 1 for on, 0 for off, like a electric switch. Okay, now So we have only 0 comma 1. How many different ways we can fill these two positions? For example, 0 0 or 0 1 or 1 0 and 1 1. There are 4 different ways we can fill. In case of 3, if you have 3 digits, how many different ways we can fill 0 0 0 or 0 0 1 or 0 1 0 or 0 1 1, 1 0 0, 1 0 1, 1 1 0 and 1 1 1. Don't worry about the filling these positions. These are actually called, there is a concept called permutations and combinations. In that it will be, when you are learning about mathematics, you will learn that. So don't worry about that. Just I given in a small hint. This is the way 3 positions we will fill. Now 64. So there are 2 digits. So 2 and 3 positions. So we will say 2 to the power of 3. So total how many ways we filled? 2 to the power of 3, 8 ways. Okay. Here we are filling 2 digits. So 2 to the power of how many positions? 2. So 2 to the power of 2, 4. In case of 4 positions, 1 2 3 4, 4 positions, how many? 2 to the power of 2, because 2 digits, 2 to the power of how many positions? 4. So 2 to the power of 4. That is the way we will fill. Now here 64 bits means 64 positions are there. So now this is 2 to the power of 64 total ways we can fill. But in that, half will be the positive and half will be the negative. So that's why 2 to the power of 64 divided by 2, that will be 2 to the power of 63. 2 to the power of 63. Now range of the long is 2 to the power of 63 minus 2, minus you have to, because negative number, minus 2 to the power of 63 to 2 to the power of 63 minus 1, because in a positive we include 0 also. That's why this is the very smallest number and this is the highest number. That is called range. We will fill in a 2 to the power of 63 minus 2 to the power of 63, a negative number, that very small number, to 2 to the power of 63 minus 1 large number. Now this is very simple basics. Now I will give a technique, very simple, 64 bits. Now you can write anyway 2 digits. So 2 minus 2 to the power of 64 minus 1, 63, 2, again 2 to the power of 63 minus 1 you can add, because that minus 1 is for 0. The same you can write, for example 2 to the minus 2 to the power of 32 minus 1, that is 31, to 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. Here you can write, okay, this is the question mark, you can write it and you can send for me. Okay, this is the homework for you. Now time is over, so you have left with 3 minutes. So tomorrow we will discuss about float, double and all. So now just confirm it for me, everything is clear for you and everything is understood or not. Yes, confirm it, either everything is clear and even more everything you understood or not. Once you confirmed, I want to end this class. Students, fastly you can reply. Yes, I got a message from Panchakshari. Everything is clear. Clear? Okay, shall I end this class? Okay, 2 minutes left. You can use that for to perform whatever questions I asked. Okay. Yes, any questions, any doubts you have? Yes. Okay, thank you students, have a nice day, enjoy the day.